Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 8. Module 8 is the midpoint of the semester, which means that you do need to be looking at your grades to make sure that they are where you would like them to be, to see whether or not you need to start improving your work or whether you're okay maintaining the level of work that you've been doing so far. Just click on the grades tab. You can look and see. We'll have a list of the assignments that we've done and the grades that you've gotten for it. Make sure that you are keeping track of these. Sometimes there is an instance where I can't view something that a student has submitted or it's submitted incorrectly, and so I'll put a 0 in there, and then I'll put a comment as to what the issue was with that assignment. And if a student never looks at their grades, they're never going to know that they could have resubmitted that in order to get points for it, and it can really hurt your grade if you're not doing that. So keep track of that kind of thing. So Module 8, we're moving on. We're moving into our essay assignments. The essay assignments will take a little bit longer. So for our paragraphs, we had 2 modules for each paragraph that we wrote. Now we're moving into the essays, and we're going to take a little bit longer to write these. The first essay that you're doing is called a process essay. And so all of the information in order to get started on that is in Module 8. We're just learning about process writing. So our readings and resources page includes the topic or the chapter about process writing, and then the different types of essays. There's a section in there about the process essay. So chapter 8 is just about what process writing is. So how to write a process explanation, and then the process essay section is just in the different types of essays later on. And then I also have a video linked in here to help you see how you can write a paragraph that's a process, but you can also write an entire essay about a process. The other important readings that you'll be doing is on chapter 14, which is, interestingly enough, titled, well, the process of writing an essay. So essay writing is also a process. It kind of goes along with the theme. But you are going to be doing this in order to take the quiz. So basically we're at the transition stage of the class, which means that you need to really be paying attention to the differences between what you would do for a paragraph length assignment versus an entire essay length assignment. And so chapter 14 is the chapter that covers that. And then I also have a video in here just on how to write an academic essay for those of you who maybe need a little bit of a refresher on that. Then you're going to take the quiz on how to write an essay, and that will just cover the chapter itself. And then we're going to get into the process assignment as just in general. So the process essay is the first of 2 essays that we'll write. It is a process explanation is what we call it. And basically what you're going to do is choose something that requires steps to complete. So you have something that needs to be done. There are certain steps that you take, and you take those same steps in the same order every time. And then you have an end result, and the end result should be roughly the same every time. So you want to be thinking of something that involves a step-by-step process. So there are a lot of topics that are out there, and sometimes students will choose something like football. Football is not a process. Football is a sport that you play, and you can play it many different ways, and there's a lot to it. There's just not step by step. However, learning a specific drill in football could be a process, and so we could potentially use that as a topic. So I've got some ideas here for you that you can think of. Family recipe. I get a lot of recipe essays for this assignment, but you want to make sure that it's a recipe that has some complexity to it, so it's not like mashed potatoes or, you know, Kraft mac and cheese or something that would just be explained in one paragraph. You need to be able to write a whole essay on it. I've also gotten quite a few care or maintenance process type essays. Oil changes and tire changes are very common that the students choose, but you could also do something specific. So if there's a special process that you use to clean something, you might do that. If there's a special kind of home improvement, maintenance job type of thing. Like if you ever had to patch drywall, that would be a process. If you ever had to paint a fence or something like that, that would be a process. And then you could also do something at work. I get quite a few students who are and usually typically in the medical field, where they have a specific process that they have to complete very regularly. So they got a lot of experience with it. And then, or something else that you do at work that's, some kind of hair and makeup. That would be another good one. Or maybe an important application process, even if you've only done it just once, like if you had to apply for a passport or something like that, buy a house, that would be an important process that you may have done once. It does need to be a process that you do have personal experience with, though. Even if you've only completed it one time, make sure that it is something that you have personal experience with, because I don't want you having to go and do a bunch of research for it. The essay itself, a minimum of 1 page. Almost everyone will get more than 1 page because their topics are just going to need that much more. But you'll have a thesis statement, you'll have an introduction paragraph with a thesis statement, you'll have at least 3 full body paragraphs, or 3 full paragraphs total. It's at least 1 body paragraph and then a conclusion paragraph, enough information to understand the process, and then covering at least 3 steps in the process. Personal experience, of course, with details. That's minimum. This is minimum. Most students have a longer essay. Lots of transitions in between so we can see the first step and the second step and third step. And then the most important thing for this one is to make sure you're not using you, because you would be a set of instructions as opposed to a process explanation. And so we're going to use I, first person pronouns, or you can use third person, people, or the mechanic or something like that would be okay. But you don't want to say you, because that's directing the reader to do these things, and that is a set of instructions. So this is a full essay. We'll use our MLA style again when you finish it. So the next thing that you're going to do once you've read through that is sort of think about different topics that you could use. Again, we're going to do a brainstorm and writing plan. It looks very similar to the other ones that we've completed. However, there is a third part. So the brainstorm section is similar. It's just doing a free write. The writing plan part is, again, answering those questions. So questions are very similar. But then the third part is to come up with a thesis statement. I have 3 template sentences that you can use. You don't use all 3 of them. Just pick one for what might work best for your essay, and then you'll just write that out. So the third part is just a single sentence that tells me what you're thinking of for your thesis. The thesis works similarly to a topic sentence, except it does need to be a little bit more general, so it covers the whole essay that you're going to be doing. So that is the one assignment that you'll be doing for the process essay. The second assignment, or the last assignment in this module, is the mid-semester reflection. So we are at the midpoint. You are going to think back to the beginning semester reflection that you did in an email to me. You kind of set some goals for the class, talked about your strengths and weaknesses. Now we're going to look back on what you've done so far. Think about whether or not you're meeting your goals, which assignment you've liked the most, what you have taken away from the class, what changes you need to make for the rest of the semester, and so forth. So the midpoint semester reflection you can write in sort of an essay form, or you can do just a numbered list if you would rather do it that way. That's fine, but mainly I'm just looking for you to really explain your thoughts. If you have any concerns about the rest of the class, anything you would like to see changed, anything that would benefit you to be more successful in the class, make sure that that goes in here as well, so that I can kind of see where you're at, where you would like to be, what I can do to help you, and that kind of thing. So this has been a review of Module 8. Hopefully you're doing well. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.